All right, we're about to take a journey to a place that seems, pretty familiar, our own cosmic backyard. But have you ever stopped to think what really makes our home, planet Earth, so unbelievably special? Well, let's find out. I mean, this is the big question, right? Of all the planets we know about, and there are billions of them, why is ours the only one just teeming with life? What's the secret sauce? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack together.
Okay, so to kick things off, let's zoom all the way out. I want you to imagine seeing our planet the way astronauts do. Just a single, beautiful blue marble hanging in the dark.
And what's the first thing you notice? It's all that blue, right? That gorgeous color comes from the huge amount of liquid water covering our world. And that one feature, as far as we know, makes us totally unique in our solar system.
I mean, just look at that number, 71%. That's how much of our planet's surface is covered in water. It's not just what you see from space, it's the very foundation of life, like a giant cosmic oasis.
You know, it really all comes down to location, location, location. We're in what scientists call the Goldilocks zone. It's not too hot, not too cold. A little closer to the sun, like Mercury, and all that water would just boil away. A little farther out, like Mars, and it'd be a frozen block of ice. We are, quite literally, just right.
And get this perfect home of ours has been stable for a really long time. 4.5 billion years. It's a number that's almost impossible to wrap your head around, right? But that immense stretch of time gave everything, the continents, the oceans, and eventually life itself, the runway it needed to develop.
Oh, and here's a cool fact. Deep down, our planet is a real heavyweight. It's actually the densest planet in our entire solar system, mostly because it's packed with this heavy iron core. And that dense core, well, as we're going to see in a bit, it's the secret to one of our planet's most important superpowers. Okay, so that's kind of the what of our planet. Now let's talk about what it does. See, Earth is in this constant, beautiful motion, and these grand rhythms, they basically define our entire existence.
You can think of it like a cosmic dance with two main moves. First, you've got the daily spin on its axis. That's what gives us day and night, the basic beat of our lives. Then you have the big one, the year-long journey around the sun. And that's what gives us the seasons, driving this huge cycle of change across the whole planet.
And we're not dancing alone. Our moon is so much more than just a pretty light in the night sky. It's a vital partner. Its gravity is what pulls on our oceans, creating the tides. And it also acts like a stabilizer, keeping the Earth from wobbling too much on its axis, and that gives us a much more stable climate.
So what all this tells us is that our planet is anything but static. It's alive. It's constantly changing. I mean, the very ground under our feet is moving, shaping continents over millions of years. Even time itself is changing, with our days actually getting a tiny bit longer over time. It's a truly dynamic world.
All right, let's switch gears a bit. How about a quick tour of our planet's record breakers? We're talking the highest, the deepest, the biggest, and wildest places you can imagine. I mean, the scale of our world is just staggering when you stop and think about it. You've got Mount Everest, the highest point, practically scraping the edge of space. And then, at the other extreme, the Mariana Trench, so deep that sunlight has no chance of reaching the bottom. We have an ocean so massive it could swallow all the land on Earth combined, and a river, the Nile, that's been the lifeblood for entire civilizations for thousands of years.
And this crazy diversity extends to the climate too. I mean, on one hand, you have the blistering, sun-baked Sahara Desert, and on the other, you've got the insane cold of Antarctica, where temperatures can drop to levels that honestly feel like they belong on another planet. So, with all these wild extremes, you might be wondering, how does anything survive here? Well, the answer is pretty amazing. Earth has a couple of invisible, life-saving force fields that protect all of us.
Okay, shield number one is our atmosphere. And this thing is a multitasking genius. Think of it like a shield that blocks the sun's most harmful radiation, and at the same time, it's like a perfect blanket, trapping just enough heat to keep things cozy and comfortable for life.
And shield number two is the magnetic field. Now remember that super dense iron core we mentioned earlier? Well, all its churning and moving generates this massive invisible force field. It stretches way out into space and deflects something called the solar wind, which is basically a constant blast of nasty particles from the sun that would literally strip our atmosphere away if it wasn't there.
And don't think for a second, these shields aren't just sitting there passively. Our atmosphere is absolutely crackling with raw energy. We're talking millions of lightning strikes hitting the Earth every single day. It's a pretty dramatic reminder of the incredible power held in the very air we breathe.
So, let's recap. We've got the perfect location, we've got the right rhythms and movements, and we have these amazing protective shields. Now it's time to bring it all home and look at the final, crucial ingredients in the recipe for life. When you get right down to it, it's these three things working in perfect harmony. First, you need water, and we're the only planet where you can find it as a solid, a liquid, and a gas. Second, you need oxygen to breathe, which makes up a big chunk of our atmosphere. And third, you need that just right Goldilocks temperature. It's the ultimate life support system, and we've got it.
And speaking of that precious oxygen, where does a huge chunk of it come from? Well, from places like the Amazon rainforest. There's a reason people call it the lungs of our planet. It's basically a giant living engine, cranking out the very air that we all need to survive.
So, what happens when you have this perfect recipe? You get an absolute explosion of life. Scientists estimate there is something like 8.7 million different species sharing this one tiny planet with us. That is just a breathtaking amount of diversity, and it's all thanks to this unique cosmic cocktail.
And that brings us right back to where we started. When you think about it all, the perfect spot in the solar system, those invisible shields, the life-giving water, Earth is just this incredible, complicated, and maybe impossibly rare combination of chance and chemistry. It really is a miracle. Which just leaves one final thought for you to chew on. Knowing all this, knowing just how special this place is, what does it mean to be a part of it?